It starts with the line of scrimmage, and you have to understand where the ball is supposed to fit. Everybody thinks that you could just go in there and just push the pile. You can. I mean, obviously the tush push is working well, right? But you have to be able to read plays and read what the defenders are doing and get them out of position and be able to score. And that's something that I like to bring.
You mentioned that he could be a generational talent. Ashton, what is it about him as a running back that makes you believe that?
I mean, if you look at his stature, everything that he does, he's not that big in regards to being tall, but he has a little more. He's a little wider, and he can put himself in position to maneuver runs and slip out of things. I was watching his tape when he was at Boise State, and it was just, you could just tell the dynamic of him reading and breaking tackles. I think that was the biggest thing that impressed me the most, was that he was able to shed tackles and take it for another 60 yards. That's something that's not necessarily going on out there in the world right now, and for him to be able to do that, it just shows you the type of generational talent that he has, and especially out in the pass game too. We've been out here. I mean, just today he caught a couple balls, and you look at it and you're like, man, he's gonna be special.
What are your thoughts on the offensive line?
Offensive line is moving. There's a lot of veteran guys. I know we brought in Kappa. Kappa's been a good fit. Dylan's been excellent. I mean, obviously Colton. He's played in the league for quite some time. So to be able to, and JPJ, setting the standard. So to be able to have those guys up front, man, is definitely paramount in trying to build this thing and trying to make it go. Everything starts with the line of scrimmage, and if you have enough guys that are bought in and they're willing to sacrifice themselves for the greater good, it just shows you how this offense can portray and project into the next level.
What have you seen from the defensive side of the ball? Those guys that are putting in the work just as you guys are.
Yeah, no, the defense, man, they're doing an unbelievable job. We had a stat today throughout this entire process, from OTAs on to minicamp, where there was 280-something plays, and within those 280-something plays, there was 2,783 punch attempts, which shows you that they're really trying to get the ball out. And we had one that was counted as I don't like to say the F word. I'm not an F word guy. So once y'all understand who I am, I hate saying that word. So we put the ball on the ground, and it was just that one time. So that's the big emphasis for the defense. And I've been around, even with the Niners, and it was the same thing. Pete came over, that Legion of Boom era. He's trying to mimic that over here, and you could tell a lot of the guys are bought into that. Yeah, appreciate y'all. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you.
Afternoon.
Yeah.
What's up?
What have you learned about?
What's your program?
What have you learned about your team over this last couple of months?
Oh, we learned a lot. It's been the whole purpose here is to figure them out, figure the guys out, and it's a relationship that we're building on that we need to know who we're teaching and how they operate and how they function and all that. So the whole time has been about information gathering, and you would think like it's all on the football field, but it's way more than that. And we've gone to great depths to try to get to understand our guys, what's important to them, what are their goals and their principles and how they approach stuff, and so that we can better teach them and reach them, So I wouldn't even know where to start. There's a million things that we've learned. Sorry.
You noticed a lot today. You seem to mix things up, a lot of first team versus second team and vice versa. What was the method behind doing that?
Today we really played game-like. We started, it was 10 minutes left in the third quarter. And so we played all the way through to the end of the game, and somehow the commissioner got it to come down to a tie, which was great. And then because we wanted to go into OT, and we went into OT and had a couple exchanges in overtime as well. So we just tried to log as many situations as we could throughout all of our time together. The last time we tried to go OT, we had a lightning thing that we had to get off the field on. So I kind of overdid it. We had like almost everybody got a couple shots in OT legitimately as the clock worked, and so worked out great.
Pete, energy has been something that's been associated with this team for the last few weeks. I wonder, have you been getting that energy out of this group of players that you hope for? And also, the second part of this question, what kind of attitude are you hoping to instill into this team with the energy that you've been bringing?
Yeah, well, these guys have really been accepting to a little bit of the craziness that we're all about and how we do it, and we expect them to be on every day. Every time we go out in the field, they're expected to give everything they got. They tap in before they go out. They make a commitment that they're going to be all in, and then the coaches have to make sure we drive the energy. And so, if I'm expecting that, then I got to do that too. And so that's what we've, it's kind of how we operate. And with the thought of we want to maximize the opportunity that we have that's right in front of us every single day, every step we take. And so, that may sound like talk to you, but this is how we live, So, they have embraced it, and I've been thrilled with the mentality on a regular basis. The coaches really have to set the tone, but we see that we do that until we can step aside for the leaders to take over, and we have strong leadership on this team on both sides of the football, so it's really important. And the whole idea of the energy thing, or however you want to look at it, is I'm trying to get everything they got, every step they take, and that's a mentality it's really hard to maintain, and it's hard to get there and acquire it, but it's harder to maintain even. And so there has to be an uncommon consistency in what we're asking of them to get that done, and that's how we're operating. And so as far as we could have gone, we took it. You saw us; we went all the way into overtime and a couple different shots in overtime. We got everything we can get out of every moment that we had. And these next 6 weeks are huge. These guys have to come back in great shape. I challenged every one of them to be in the best shape of their life. If they want to make the most of this opportunity, they need to go about it with that thought. And so they've all got plans and how they're going to get that done. We'll see what happens when we return.
You mentioned accepting the craziness, but we saw you wrestling Munford the other day, and now
I wasn't wrestling with him. I pinned him.
and today we see an equipment manager in the bubble rolling around after stretch. What are the stories behind these things?
Yeah, I can't speak for the bubble thing. They're trying to surprise me with that one, I guess. I don't know. I didn't know that was happening. But they're taking part in it, obviously, This is what we're asking these guys to do, to play as well as anybody that plays this game. We're not setting expectations, try to win a few games and make some progress. That's not what we're doing here. We're trying to take this as far as you can possibly take it, and it's the only perspective that they have heard from me, and that's the only one I can even imagine. I can't even think any way else. And so that means we have to just continue to maximize all of the moments. And so that means I need to keep their attention and keep their focus and keep them going and keep them guessing and whatever it takes. And I was a little concerned because this is kind of like the last day of school, when, kids get a little crazy and they do some crazy things and stuff because they know they're getting out. I was a little concerned about it, so we addressed that. And they brought all their love and energy today to this effort that we had. And there's a lot to this, what they put into it demonstrates how important it is to them and how much they respect their opportunity. And it also, what they put into it allows them to present themselves as the best they can to be a great teammate. And that's, you can't have a great team without great teammates on it. And so there's a whole building process to getting that done. And part of that is taking part in whatever we ask them to do, as wild as it may be or nuts as they may think it is. And some of it is pretty crazy, but we made it. We made it through it.
Just from us being able to watch, Michael Mayer seemed like a guy that got a lot of touches over the last, however many practices that we got a chance to see. What are your impressions of the young tight end?
I thought Mike had a great offseason with us. There was we started out going heart to heart, and him understanding what we're all about, and he embraced it and took it, as well as anybody could take the challenge of bringing it day in and day out. He had a great camp, and he was doing well before Brock got here, and the two of them just went head to head, just trying to make a play here and there, and going back and forth, and they were just great contributors. It's a terrific position group for us. Ian Thomas coming in and really livened it up as well. So we have a very good position group right there, and excited about what they're going to do. But I thought Michael had a great camp.
In practice, obviously, you have a lot of rookies that are either with the first team or the second team. Have you been surprised at all with the production of the rookies so far and how they've developed, or do you think this is right where you expect them to be?
The young guys have done really well. The guys that we chose in the draft have all made a mark at some point and show that they deserve being here. It looks like a really good class all the way through, both offensive linemen, both defensive linemen. They participated and rolled in with the twos for the most part. Those guys, they held their own. Ashton had an excellent camp, but Dante and Jack, they did their stuff. It's a good-looking group, and the idea is to force those guys to play early and make them have to play. And to do that well, you have to ask them to do things they're good at. If you just ask them to try to do everything that a veteran knows, they're going to falter and they're not going to be able to show themselves. But if you do it in a progressive manner that gives them a chance to show, then by the time we get to midseason, those guys can be regulars for us. And so this is not a new process. This is the way I've done it with rookies and freshmen and the whole thing for a long time. And it just depends on how well you orchestrate what you ask them to do. And if they can find success, and their confidence builds, and then before you know it, you got a regular. And that just helps our depth and helps us stay competitive.
Speaking of Geno Smith throughout camp.
I'm sorry, could you say that again, please? Go ahead.
Okay. What did you learn about Geno Smith during camp?
I can't tell you I learned that much because I know Geno about as well as you can know a player, I was thrilled how he embraced the leadership opportunity, and he's been around me so much that he knows where we're coming from and can step up at the right time, say the right thing, do the right thing. But Geno's a natural leader. He has developed over the years through all hard knocks and the tough ways that he's come up through it all to be a great competitor. And he knows to be a great competitor, you have to go for it every opportunity that you have, and that's what he's done. And he's just illustrated to these guys that okay, if you're part of our program, this is what's expected. And I couldn't ask for a better partner in bringing the word to our team.
You, Zeke, in the case.
You mentioned asking these guys to do certain things. Ja'Cory Bennett told us that you're all about the ball. See ball, get ball. How do you instill that into those defensive guys to
every day? Every day. And the first thing I said to him in the first football meeting that we had was it's all about the ball. And today I started this last meeting that we had, it's all about the ball. It's about how you emphasize it. And it's not just that you emphasize it, it's how well you can emphasize it in creative manners. It's like if you're a teacher and you go out and you give this great lecture, you think everybody should learn what you wanted them to learn. If you don't keep coming back to the same messaging and the same teachings, it's likely that you didn't hit home with everybody. So it's the way that we emphasize it and the way we're consistently coming about it as creatively as we can, and whatever it takes to get the message across. Our guys, right from the start, from day one, we had some big lessons about taking care of the football on offense and how they're going to tuck it and lock it and all those things. The guys have just done a really nice job on the other side of the ball in a mode in this offseason where you can't be physical. You can't hit guys. You can't tackle anybody. You have to use your imagination. And so that's sighting the football when you're attacking it and showing that you sight it. And so the gestures that you make to show us that you had a shot to punch at the football or take a shot at it, all of those things are the things that we value really highly. And so I think we reported today that was 2,300 times during these last 10 days that we took a shot at the football, and so that's the kind of emphasis that we need. And but it never ends. I mean, they never get it. They can stay with you, and so we have a real clear passage to getting that done, and we'll see what happens. It'll really be the key to our season.
Pete, where do you feel like the team made the most progress over the last 3 days?
I think work ethic, really. I think the consistency in our work ethic. We came out of the OTA phase 2 when you can only go so far. You can do so much. And then phase 3, we get to do a lot more against each other and work again, offense versus defense. And so they got to transfer, the phase 1, phase 2 to the final phase into this minicamp. But even with that, there's so much restraint on them. It's really hard to do this right because you have to, like I said, you got to use your imagination because you can't make the plays, And so sometimes we go a little bit too far. The league's aware of how we practice, because they know, and we had to stay within the guidelines, which we got done in good fashion.
One of the guys we've heard, at least on the offensive line, credited with bringing the energy and working so hard during the off season is your center, Jackson Powers Johnson. What about his mentality matches with what you're trying to instill, and what's it been like getting to work with him?
He's easy to get to. He loves to be jacked up and fired up, and he's got that kind of energy about him. It's in his makeup. It's nothing we gave him. He brings that to us. When we have guys like that, we play off them. We try to put them in position so others can see what it's like. Caleb Rogers was a really interesting kid, first time around, but he has a big energy and kind of an excitement about the way he approaches the game that's unique. And so, I said this maybe to you guys before, but we're looking for the unique qualities that they bring, and we're celebrating the unique qualities by putting them in positions to, exhibit the way they are, so the guys can see it and they can affect other people. And JPJ he really does have a lot of juice.
We're going to do 4 more. We go to Sean, Nick, Harry, and then up here to Ben. Pete, obviously you guys can't put on pads yet, so kind of limited. You can't really truly block with offensive linemen. But what's been the focus for that group, and how much growth have you seen out of the O-line throughout it? They've done a really solid job, really worked on their technique, really working on the things that you can work on. You can't work on the physical part of it as much as you would like, other than sleds and bags and stuff like that. But BC's done a really nice job of getting all these guys to look uniformed. They step really well. Their hand placement is really good. Communication seems to be sharp. Chip's got a really in-depth, busy plan that we ask these guys to embrace. Fortunately, Gino is kind of the run coordinator on the field, and he changes the things and does the things that we need to do. All of that has worked together really well. So it looks like a good, solid group. We have good leadership. Colton, it was great to get Colton out there and be part of it. Saw a lot of DJ Glaze. I thought he had a really, really good offseason with us. He looks like he's ready to go. And he's a second-year guy, but he's one of the guys go from year 1 to year 2. They have the ability to make a big jump because they're through the rookie, whatever it is, and the haze, and he's shown that. So it looks like a good, solid group. It's very competitive, and we feel like we have some depth. And going to camp is really when we'll know what's happening. My favorite guy out there to watch is Lucky Tassi. He's knows nothing about football when he walks in the door, and he's made tremendous progress, and he's enormous. He's the biggest guy you ever saw, and I think he weighed in the other day 369, and he's learning. And we got to keep an eye on him. It's an exciting process. I don't know how long it's going to take, but he's starting from ground zero, and he's made a lot of progress so far.
We just heard from Raheem Mostert. It sounds like there's a lot of optimism about turning what was the league's worst rushing attack into one of the league's better ones, especially given you love to run the rock. Chip Kelly has had a documented success of doing so. So over recent weeks, have you guys figured out how you're going to maybe divvy up the workload between Genty or Mostert?
They're gonna show us that. When they get their chance to compete. I love having multiple guys play. I'm not relying on one guy, thunder, lightning back in the day, whatever it takes to get it done. So we're going to let the guys play for that, play for their play time. Raheem, I love having him. He's an experienced guy that's been a great speedster for years. We've defended him for years. He's been a real nightmare for us. And I think Zamir had a really, really good camp too. He had made a statement of being the bigger of the guys. He's really fast, and he's the biggest guy that we have. Ashton looks every bit what we would hope he would look like. And he caught the ball really well. He understood stuff. Took everything really seriously. Gave terrific effort throughout. We made a big deal to him. Everybody's watching you, and he embraced the thought of it. And so it's going to be really it's going to be exciting to see what happens. We got Sincere back too, late in the camp period here. He had a couple really nice games last year, and he showed really good quickness and kind of a knack for running the ball. So when we go to camp, it'll just be game on, and we'll see what happens.
With this phase complete of the off season, how satisfied you are with the roster construction, and also would you be looking into outside options for more competition during training?
You're either competing or you're not. We ain't letting up now. You saw that we just signed a guy, or got a guy committed yesterday, and we're going to keep working it. There's no time to turn away from having a chance to get a little bit better. So we'll be on it.
I'm going to ask you about the other guy, Jermaine Pratt. What was it about Jermaine that made you guys kind of quickly come to terms with it?
Well, he's a really hard-nosed kid, tough kid, played a lot of football, has been really healthy, has played all of the positions to give us a flexibility that really will help us. And so we've been really pleased with Landon. He did a great job of taking over the leadership position and calling everything. And Devin has done a really nice job too to put these three guys together where they're on the field at the same time. That's a loaded up group, and they're all tough and they're all physical and they're all downhill players, which is the style that we love to play with. So I was really pleased that Johnny was able to get that done.
Thank you, Coach. Thanks, everyone.
Got it.
Thanks, Coach.
Not that Xander interview.
I brought a little Raider with me. I hope that's okay. He's staying hydrated post practice.
Great questions.
Speaking of staying hydrated, just being out there in the Vegas heat, I'm sure it's just a little different. You were, of course, used to it last season, but how have you seen maybe new guys just get adjusted, including your own head coach?
Oh, I'm getting adjusted. I don't think Pete has to get adjusted. He brings energy like nobody else, so I think he's ready to roll. But it's an adjustment, but it's an advantage if you use it the right way and condition the right way, so it'll be good.
What are your thoughts on Brendan Carroll, coaching staff, and how everything's been going for you so far?
It's been awesome, man. This coaching staff really has unmatched energy from what I've seen. Every day they come in ready to work. We come in, we have a good time, and we get work done. So it's been a lot of fun, and we're just getting started, but it's been really good so far.
The situation was kind of unique. You were able to get into this building further ahead of normal free agency type of because of the way it worked out. How beneficial was that to you? And it sounds like it was pretty quick that this was the team that you kind of wanted to come play for.
Yeah, it was awesome. They reached out right away. I have a lot of respect for Spike Tech and how he does things, so it's been great. And I'm still learning for sure. It's new for everybody because new staff, a lot of new players and everything, but so far it's been really good.
Devin White yesterday spoke about how important John Spytek was to be here in the building, that he wanted to follow him. Was that the same case with you, or was Spy was a big deal and then everything else fell in the right place?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a great opportunity. I think it's a team with a lot of potential. Play football, that's right. And like I said, I have a lot of respect for him and how he operates, and he wants to bring in people who do things the right way. Oh, yeah. And him and Coach Carroll, we all want to do things the right way, and so that's what I'm about too, and so I think it's been a good fit.
The other day, Colton Miller talked about just how dynamic this offense is. From your perspective as an offensive lineman, how do you view this offense and what it asks of you guys?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, we could just do our job up front, but obviously it starts with Gino. He's a great leader for us, really operates everything really well and gets everybody on the same page, and then obviously we got a lot of playmakers. So.
Pete Carroll was just talking about having...
I'll go with Mama.
I actually had a question for the kid.
Okay, come on. Play football, do okay. That's a good quote right there.
Pete Carroll was just talking about how players are buying in also in interesting ways because they have a new way of doing things. I mean, we saw a bubble out there with an equipment manager inside of it. He's wrestling offensive linemen, stretch. What have you seen just guys adjusting to this unique way of coaching?
I mean, he really starts it with energy. He demands energy from his coaching staff. He brings it every day, and then it's contagious throughout the building. So, yeah, that was an interesting one today with the big bubble. But every day we start practice with high energy, and it's an everyday thing. It's not an act with him. He really brings it every single day.
You're a player that's used to a high level of play for yourself. Last year, maybe there was a little bit of struggle, perhaps. How do you respond to that? How do you respond to maybe a year that didn't go the way you wanted it to?
I mean, every year I'm trying to get better, and all you can do is trust your process. I trust the way I work. I trust the way I compete, and it's not always going to go your way, but I mean, I'm going to keep working. I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing. I have confidence in myself, confidence in this team, and things will be good.
What are some things you've had to kind of adjust to when it comes to Chip Kelly play style, and what are some things that you like about what he brings to the table for the offense?
It's a versatile offense, so we do a lot of different things, and so at the beginning it's kind of hard, just kind of learning it all, because we put everything right away. Right away we had a full offense going, and the way he calls is a little different than other people. Okay. But it's dynamic for sure, and so once you understand it, it allows you to operate at a high level. It's a different offense to learn, but it offers a lot of options for us, and it's definitely going to be good.
Other than Max Crosby, who on the defense has stood out to you?
We got a good defense, so Adam Butler, obviously, is a high-level player that people don't talk about enough. Jonah's been really good. We just got a good defense. There's a lot of good players out there.
Alex, growing up in Dublin, were you did you follow the Raiders?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You a big fan, or what do you remember about them?
All my family's Raider fans, dude. So I was a Raider fan when I was rocking this shirt when I was his age too. I got pictures of me as a little kid wearing Raiders, so it's an unbelievable opportunity. Both times I hit free agency, my family was texting me Raiders. I was like, hey, this time it's real, dude. So it's an unbelievable opportunity. It's so cool for me. Not in Oakland anymore, but Vegas will do all right. That's good.
Okay.
Out of curiosity, just with you and the Irish roots like that, there's a lot of Raiders fans over there in Europe, including in Ireland. Can you kind of explain the lore of the Raiders and how it can even attract people who aren't even Americans, and how you've seen that play out?
I mean, the culture's unbelievable, and I think you saw that going back to L.A., to Oakland. The culture's always been the same. It's always been a very inspired group, a group of fans that bring it all the time, and that's carried over in Vegas, and I think that's contagious. People want to be a part of it. People want to be a part of like a culture that has pride like that, and so that's certainly stayed the way the whole time with the Raiders.
Alex, we have a two-parter in the back. Just early in the offseason workouts, what's it been like blocking for Ashton Genty, and also what's it been like working alongside Jackson Powers Johnson?
Yeah, so Jackson's been great, man. He's obviously a really talented player, really strong, really athletic. So it's been great to work with him. We've got a good relationship going so far. And then Genty, we're just getting started, dude. I think you got to put the pads on for him to see what he can really do. But it's been great. I got a lot of confidence in our whole group. So
Been able to block for Brady, for Joe Burrow. What does Geno Smith do where you can be like, okay, this guy is special, and we can do big things like you've done in previous stops?
it's just the way he operates. He operates like a leader. He controls the offense. He gets everybody on the same page, and that's really the key. If everyone's on the same page, and you got good players, and you're competing, you got a good chance. And he really sets the tone with how he handles the offense as a whole.
When you obviously we talked earlier about how time in Cincinnati didn't quite end the way you probably wanted it to. What do you lean on to have the faith to know that you can get your career back on track the way you'd like?
I've always had confidence in myself, so that's not an issue. I'm going to go out there and compete no matter what. It's the NFL. You're going to win reps. You're going to lose reps. But I'm going to do things the right way, and I'm going to compete for sure.
All right, let's go out there. Play football, do okay.
I'll send you the link.
How much different do you feel this OTA or this mini camp compared to last year at this time?
Yeah, it's a lot different, really. Everything just slowed down. Coming in as a rookie, you don't really know what to expect. Then this year, I kind of knew what to expect. Been through it once already, so it slowed down. Feel a lot different now. I'm trying to bring the other rookies along, so it's definitely a little bit different from last year.
When you say slow down, it actually means you get to play faster.
Right, exactly.
As a result. Do you notice that? Do you feel that?
Yeah, for sure. You're not trying to think about everything at once. You kind of just realize and figure out how to take it one play at a time. And like you said, it slows down, but you play faster because your mind's not racing and thinking about 100 things at one time. So, yeah, I definitely feel it, and I definitely see it on the field.
Pete Carroll just a moment ago, Coach, was singing your praises, basically, talking about how well you're standing out at right tackle. What do you think you've done to make such an impression on him so early?
Yeah, just trying to stay consistent. Not switching up or trying to do anything out of the ordinary. Just being me, staying consistent, showing up every day, competing with guys like Max. It's only going to get me better, and I'm trying to help get him better. So when coaches see that, I'm out there going against one of the best pass rushers in the league consistently on a daily basis. You have no choice but to show up. But to stand out.
Would you say there's been any changes in your mentality of the way you approach the game, considering, as a rookie you come in, you're trying to earn a job, and now it is your job for you to lose? Is there a difference in the mentality you bring?
Not really. When I came in, I kind of, just try to strive, just to get better, a little bit better every day. Come with that mindset that, like you said, it's a job at the end of the day. It's mine last year was mine to gain, this year, now it's mine to keep. So just keeping that steady mentality. Just realizing that, every day is different. It might not look the same every day, but, as long as I go out there and do what I have to do, improve on one small thing each day, I will see improvement in my whole game. So, just trying to keep that mindset of, just get better at one thing every day, and I'll grow overall.
DJ, to that point, where do you think you've gotten better at over the offseason? Where do you feel like you've made the most improvement?
Yeah, like I said, just really trying to slow everything down, just seeing the game, one play at a time, one step at a time. And like I said, that helps me play faster. So not trying to think about everything, too many things at once, not trying to be perfect because, mistakes are going to happen. But, it's better to make them now in OTAs and in minicamp than, during the season. So really just trying to slow everything down and play faster and continue to play with technique.
Rewinding back to the NFL draft, there was a lot of speculation out there that the Raiders could target an offensive tackle early on, even in the first round. They didn't. So with that, how did you see that as a sign of belief from the new regime and a challenge to you to reach your potential?
Yeah, like you said, it is a sign of belief. They did bring in, two guys who are going to come and compete, but that's what I expected to do anyway, no matter where they drafted guys at, whether that be first round or third like they did. You want people to come in and compete and make you better, because you can't get complacent in this league. And, just going through it, going through the process, I always had belief, that I was going to be able to, come in and work every day. So wherever they ended up drafting a guy, nothing was really going to change for me. I was going to come out and try to, do what I had to do regardless. So. They brought in Alex Caba this offseason. What has that relationship been like, him having a new guy right next to you and a veteran? Yeah, he's played a good amount of ball, won Super Bowl. So, just to have a savvy vet guy like that, just come in and give me knowledge. Me and him communicate daily. It's been huge. It's helped me out a lot. Me and him just getting on the same page and, working with each other. It's huge when you can always bring a guy, like I said, he's won a Super Bowl, to come in and, just drop knowledge on the young guys. Even me still learning, he's dropped knowledge every day, and I'm just trying to soak it up, be a sponge.
Obviously, you and Jackson Powers Johnson, came in, got drafted together, had to go through the same situation, becoming stars together. A lot of parallels there. How much of your relationship with him developed in terms of all of this, and where do you guys see yourselves going, taking this league within the second season?
Yeah, like you said, we came in, we were second and third round last year drafted, so we kind of bonded over all the rookie meetings and rookie minicamp and all that last year. And it's all. I feel like it's important to have a guy like that. You can kind of go through the process with. Like you said, I think we went in the same game last year, so Just me and him learning at the same time, seeing things at the same time, it's huge. And now we're both going into the second year. And like I said, we played there, we've been there, we have experience now. So, hopefully we can continue to push it. We can be young guys, with leadership voices. Jackson's going to bring the energy, every day. So, hopefully we can be pillars, and just bring energy, bring leadership, help bring guys along.
All right. Thanks, CJ.
All right, appreciate it.